Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to another fun episode of DevChatter. Hopefully everyone here is ready to have a good stream. Today is Saturday, June 9th. My name is Brendan, for anyone who doesn't know. And as I mentioned, this is DevChatter. So here we like to program in C# a lot, use a lot of .NET Core stuff, but we're not exclusive to those, so we will probably get some other stuff in as well. We've done a little bit of JavaScript on stream. We have plans to do more. Wait, async awake. What do you mean? Do I sound weird or something? Let's see. Other people. Oh, no. I just pushed my hair to the side. This is what happens if I do this to my hair. It goes like that instead of forward. GLHF, thanks. So welcome everyone. I see a bunch of you in the stream already. We're going to go ahead and get started. So first things first, I want to take a look at the state of things, take a look and make sure that we don't have any new issues that people have put in. Yeah, GLHF and coding, it totally makes sense. And I also want to review some of the pull requests you guys sent in. So the first thing, looking over here, I don't see any new issues, so we're going to skip past that, hop over to pull requests. So that pull request, I still want to talk to Ace Flames here, because I do think we can make that. And welcome everyone from C# Fritz's stream. I'll talk quietly for a minute while you adjust your volumes, because I have a feeling you need to turn it down a little bit, because I'm a little bit louder than C# Fritz. And that is all because I am more excited about C# than he is. You can tell because C# is not in my name. Welcome to DevChatter, and today we're going to be doing some more C# and ASP.NET Core development. My plan is to work on our Rock, Paper, Scissors, Boom competition application, but as our regulars know, if people yell at me in chat to work on something else, you can often convince me to go work on a different project, because really I'm just here to write C# code and have fun. I'm less worried about what it is we're working on, and more worried about doing fun stuff. Let's see. But it makes a lot of sense to have a good luck, have fun in coding. Thanks for merging my code. Too bad I got home late and could. Oh yeah, async awake. No problem. It was a good pull request. And guess what WTF Blub said? It takes a lot of. There's a lot of luck to get code to work. On Thursday, I actually I did the classic thing, and I did the you're messing around with a bunch of stuff and throwing things in, you're like, why isn't this working? You make a bunch of changes, and while you're making those changes, you end up adding a new bug while you're at it, and then when you get it working, you then need to figure out what that new bug is you created while you were trying to fix things. So it's everybody's favorite. Okay, so let's take a look at our pull request. So we got Russian Roulette. I want to see if there were any changes to this, because we requested some changes, and I don't know if he got any in yet. Requested changes, and then added a command after that. Let's take a look at this. Did this actually make any of my adjustments? I'm not sure if that made any adjustments yet. I don't think he got them all yet. We'll see. I'll just scroll through and look for my comments. Oh, maybe he did. Nope. What's this? Yeah, might have gotten them all. Okay, in that case, let's review this code. Yep, it looks like. Alright, let's take a look. Okay, so we did get setting in base command, repository single command setting, command by command name and key. So you're passing in, oh, you're doing primary command text. Yeah, I guess that works. That's a way to do it. And then the key is whatever key you wanted to use. And you set it up so you can pass in the default value. I like this being on the base command. It gives everyone access to it. And I think every command is probably going to have settings, if at least the cooldown. So this is, I assume, the same thing, but just doing, it does a type convert. Okay. I'll look at that in a minute. Set setting, key value, take that in, access, check to see if it's already there. If it is, update it. Otherwise, create a new entity and insert it. Okay. Roulette command then ends up using the currency generator to award money. Yep, add currency right there. So if you win... Okay, so the way this game works, just to explain what the roulette command does, is you can run it, there's a chance you get timed out, and there's a chance you win currency for doing it. So that's like the joke of it, is if you don't shoot yourself in the head, then you're okay. Okay, so slightly morbid, but win percent chance, timeout. At least the result is just a timeout, not a ban or something like that. Protect subscribers true is the default. Coin reward is defaulted to 100, and timeout duration in seconds is also 10. I'm good with it as is, but just a recommendation. I would toss this in some kind of a settings object, so make a class for this. Keep them all together. So I'm good with it as is for now, but I'm thinking that's going to be our next refactoring on this. Because I think it makes a lot of sense to just say, get my whole settings object, and it could pull a set of them out, you know, like all the properties for this. And just do all that as in one go. Actually, not the random, but down to here, those 4. So that's how I would set that up. I would do these settings in a class. Really, yeah, I'll say class for now, to keep them together. We'll add a single comment on that. It does not need to be changed, but pulse trigger, that's saved as a subscriber. Command settings entity is a data entity, yep. Command settings policy. Did you do anything weird with this one? By command name and key. Okay, so this gets all, wait. So this will get all of them. And that'll get the specific one for that command name and key. Timeout, ban, yep, we added those. There's adding the command settings to the database as its own object. And then our migration adds it in as a new table called command settings. Has annotation production. RTM. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yep, we don't need the ban yet, but could be useful to have. Create initial roulette settings if needed. Nice, perfect. And then down here in this, it takes in the repository. Command name roulette, that's weird. I assume this is happening... If you run this after the command words, if you move this... the missing command, you should be able to look up the command word by type. Debugging is the hardest part. Okay, wait, hang on. Would it be possible to learn from scratch just by watching your YouTube videos? I think you can learn a lot by watching the YouTube videos. Well, certainly, I was going to say, if you're an absolute beginner, I will probably also do, some beginner level content, and actually I'm planning on doing some code katas and things like that, where I'm going to be starting projects from scratch every time. So even though that's not always super beginner content, because it always starts from scratch, it's easy to follow. So that's why I think those are going to be very good for that for a developer who is just starting out. And seriously though, if you have questions, just shout them out, and by shout them out I mean type them in chat, and I will try to answer any questions about the stuff we're doing. If you've done beginner C programming, then this is going to be kind of similar, and I can pretty easily explain the differences. And Async Awake is right. If anyone does want to be able to learn more and chat with people, I seriously recommend joining our Discord, because there are a bunch of developers. Some of them are other beginners who people can talk with and make suggestions to. But then there are also people that I would not describe as beginners. So plenty of experience levels. Everyone is welcome. Everyone can contribute. Everyone can ask questions. Okay, so that would save you from having to get that command word. Okay. We should make sure that this uses the command word from Roulette. If translated, it could be different. Okay. 1% chance. Timeout duration in seconds. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I actually want to help make this one work. WTF Blub, what do you think about the idea of... oh, wait, hang on. Add a unique constraint on command key to ensure dupes don't get there. Chris, you are correct. There was not one yet. We are going to do that. There's a couple of other changes I want to make. Blub, if you're still in chat, I have a question for you. Do you want me to make all the suggestions, and I can put in a bunch of suggestions in here for things to fix up, or do you want me to grab this and merge it in and make the changes on stream? So I'm good either way. But yes, the point about the unique key constraint is correct. We definitely need to get that in there. And the place that I would recommend doing that is actually in here. I can't, there's no plus sign there. I can't make a suggestion on a line where you don't have code. That's kind of silly. I can select this line, but I can't put a comment here. Okay, so inside of onModel creating, so I'm going to make a general comment about that one. So we're going to hop back over here. In onModel creating, we should add the unique constraint we need it to be on the composite key of command name and key. Comment. Okay. In that case, Blub, I will do this. Here's what we will do. I will switch over. Whoops. I will switch over to this. We will pull it in now. Whoops, wrong one. That one. Okay. And thank you for providing that info, Async Awake. Very useful. Async Awake mentioned on their place where people can go to take a look at some code. Actually, I am going to update this branch first from master. I want to get this in here so that when I pull down the code, I have latest. So, why isn't that pulling it? Well, since it's not pulling that, I'm going to let it install its update. Now let's see if I can pull it. There we go. Hey, the update fixed it. Awesome. That's a win. Did you all see that? I updated and it fixed it. Good job, GitHub. That's actually quite nice. I'm glad they did that. What? Are you kidding me? Okay, so I don't know if you know, Chrome updated recently. Looks like this theme is busted. Because I can't see my icons there. That's kind of annoying. Alright, so we're not doing this project. We are doing this one. Okay, so we are now on the build that has the Russian roulette piece in it. So I am going to go ahead and that's a game, right? Where'd you put it? Is it just in commands? First off, I'm going to move that over to games. It's kind of a game. Is it a game? Oh, that's a weird game. Yeah, occasionally updates actually fix things. Every once in a while. That's a good question. Is it 2 T's? I don't actually remember. Yeah. That looks like I matched you either way. Alright, so we're going to move this over to the games, over into games instead of commands. Because it does feel a little bit like a game to me. It's a game of chance, we'll say. Okay, now the reason I moved it over here is the reason I wanted to write the code here, or tell you to do it, is the couple of things I notice are that this value right here is used in a couple of places. So if I search for this in the entire solution, you will notice that I can get to another spot that it's used, right here. So clearly this needs to live somewhere. We can tell because we've used this string 3 times in our source code. What did I change here? I don't even know what changed. Okay, I won't worry about it. Let's see. So the get setting thing, we're going to make a new class. We're going to call it Roulette Settings. Inside of Roulette Settings, we are going to have, roughly speaking, these 4 values. We don't want these to be var. Okay, pro tip, if you hold Alt and Shift and use the arrow keys, you can actually multi-line select like this, and I can now change this to be public, what are these? Mostly ints. So we're going to say int, and then after that, we want to say, I think I want these to be properties. So I'm going to make them auto properties, like this. I think, for now. We're figuring this out. So I know that I want to have all these in a class together, so I'm building the class for starters. Now I'm going to fix all the names on these, because they were lowercase for inline variables. So the place they were before, C# conventions would have them be written like that. So the get setting is going to be a little bit weird because it's because we had that in the other location before. So what we need to do is I want to make a class that can deal with settings instead of having that as part of the base class. So I think what we've got is a good start, and I just kind of want to move things. So the win % chance, I like the idea of just using this. So instead of having it be win underscore % chance like that, what I'm going to recommend is now that we have this object and we're putting it in here, I can say it's a name of that. Now I'm not super keen on even what I'm doing here, this name of value, because it forces me to not change that name. So there is a trade-off with what I'm doing here. So I'm not confident on it yet. So, But it's the same concern that you have when using a string, is you then can't change the string. Okay, so that has cleaned up nicely. I think that looks good as is. I'm okay with the default values being hard-coded somewhere like this for now. Let's see, so that does get settings for each of these types. This one's not an int, this one's a bool. And then now what we want to do is we want to make it so that these get wired up somewhere based on a database operation. So, what do we, maybe a settings factory, we might call it. So, systems, messaging, utility, extensions, exceptions, events, data, commands. I could see it in data. I'm going to put it in here for now. So I'm going to call this a settings factory. We're saying that data is settings. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to call this create settings, given the property names. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Tell me if you all think I'm crazy, because I could be. Every once in a while I'm crazy. And by every once in a while I mean only when I'm writing code. I want to make this an iRepository. We're going to call this an underscore repository. Now this is going to come in from the constructor, and it's going to use our EF core generic repository that we use. So for anyone that doesn't know, basically this is just a class that wraps around my data access, sort of keeps it in a consistent way that I like, so that anybody using my code can always do this, whether they're connecting to their database with Entity Framework or DAP or anything like that. And we don't lose a lot of our extensibility because we use this iSpecification pattern, which you may have seen a glimpse of. It's a little confusing at first, but once you understand it, it's actually really easy to work with and pretty simple to understand. It's one of those, it looks strange at first, but it's easier than it looks. I think there's a lot of that kind of stuff in programming. It's hard at first. Everything we do is hard at first until you figure it out. Okay. So for now, I'm going to write this hard-coded to our specific type, but I feel like this is going to become generic. So I'm going to say get roulette settings as my method here, and then this is going to just get me a roulette settings. So I'm going to say, for now, just new roulette settings. We're going to include that. There's the type there. And then we're going to say return roulette settings. Okay, so that is all that this does. What does the I in the name stand for? Interface? Yes, that just tells it that it's an interface. So that's a C# convention, and it's one of the only ones where we specify type, and that's because interfaces are a really special thing in C#. So for example, they're not normal types. And I say that because in C# you can implement as many interfaces as you want, but you can only inherit from one class. So it's very important to always be able to identify the difference between an interface and a class. Another distinction that you'll notice on the screen here is notice the color of iSpecification and iRepository is different from, say, the color of data entity. So notice that it's changing the colors so you can tell what's an interface type and what's a class. Now that color change you'll notice is also pretty consistent on the T. So special types have different colors, so you can also specify it that you can I should say identify it that way. Okay, so we have our roulette settings here, and what I want to do is I want to say underscore repository. We want a single, and I want to say policy, command settings policy dot by command name and key. Ooh, you know what? I just had a thought. Instead of by command name, so we called it command name, but what if we did this? What if it was by settings type and key? I like that idea. Yeah, no problem. Glad to explain where I can. Okay, I want to go adjust these for a second. %, chance, name of, get settings. Okay, so we already have everything about this except for the initial value. So I am just going to set these equal to that initial value. So then that one's going to be 10, that one's going to be true, and that one's going to be 100. Whoops. So we're going to start off by having all these set to their default value. You should have a cricket sound when nobody answers. Actually, I have been intending to have a cricket sound on my soundboard. I just haven't found one I like yet. I have been looking for them, though. Cricket sound is really useful because I will many times ask a question and not actually get an answer. A lot of people just like watching the stream or have it up but aren't like typing in the chat all the time, so it happens. We know how it works. Single. I'm going to put that policy back in. Command setting policy by command name and key. Actually, do I just want to grab all of them for the command name? Yeah, I'm grabbing the whole set. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to do by key. We're just going to pull back by command name. So I'm going to grab all of them by command name. Oh, whoops, not single. List, because we're going to get back a set. Let's call these settings. Okay. So now that we actually have all the settings, we need to apply these. So that does a database request, gets back all the values out of this, and then we need to make this one work. So, we might have to reflect this in order to make this work for it nicely. So clearly what I can do here, so since we have a single one right now, I want to do this. So roulette settings, coin rewards equals settings single x.key equals, whoops, name of question mark dot question mark dot, and then I want to say value, or coin reward itself. Settings, not that. So the way I wrote that is very nice and easy, and I hope that didn't confuse anyone. But what I want to do I want to do something slightly different. So the reason it's complaining here is because this came back as a string, and we need an integer. So what I intend to do is this. Here's how we're going to fix it. I'm going to make this a little simpler. We're going to do this to start with. So I understand that this is probably confusing to read. So I'm going to do this. We're going to say var coins reward. So this is not the way it's going to live in the long run, but we're going to say this. Whoops. Yeah. So we're going to say if this is not null, then that means we want to set the value. So if that's not null, then we want to do coin rewards, coin reward dot value. That's a string, so I'm going to say int dot try parse no. I'm just going to do a parse. We're going to assume that that value's in there correctly for now. Alright, Rexy, hey, how's it going? You're right, it is almost that, Zalvixidian, but I don't think that's the word. How about removing the key part from the table and using JSON serialized setting on the value column? Ooh, blub, I like it. That's potentially a good idea. Oh, I know the word. I know it. I know it. There's your... What? Really? And welcome, Ice Wolf. Thanks for following. Yes, there is nothing more permanent than a temporary solution. Except here we usually are pretty good about fixing those, especially if we do it while we're working on it. It's just whether you commit it or not. Once you commit your temporary solution, that's where you run into the problem. Okay, so we're going to do that. I don't like how much code was written to do that. That is messier than I'd like. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. So protect subscribers. Protect subscribers, protect subscribers, protect subscribers, protect subscribers. Whoops. Sorry guys, didn't mean to startle you there with that one. So that one we're going to Boolean parse for now. And Marzipan Craft, welcome, thanks for following. Yeah, I don't think it's rigged. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't give me my W. Yeah. What people are alluding to is my bot has a bunch of quotes in it. One of those is, I swear it's not rigged. And that actually is because I won our rock, paper, scissors game almost all the time when we created it. And everybody saw me write the code, so it clearly wasn't rigged, but it sure looked like it. Because I basically always won. You know what? I don't like that name for this variable. And Deleted Denizen, welcome, thanks for following. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the stream today. We're going to do some nice stuff. We're going to write some interesting code. We're writing some settings here. I think that's good. I like the structure we're going with. I think we're improving things. Win percentage chance. I'm pretty sure coined reward. You are correct. Coins reward. There we go. That was a good typo there. All right. And thank you for catching my typo there. There we go. Alright, so now when we call this, we're going to get this. It's going to wire up those 4 things. That was a special message for all of you. Special message. That will be going away. Because I am going to put my settings factory in here, inside the roulette command. So, is that the only thing the repository was used for? No, it gets passed in anyway because it gets passed into the base. Which, actually, all of these are going to get passed into the base. But for now, I'm going to do this. So this is going to be in this one specifically, and I'll move it to the base later. So let's get rid of those. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Not going to do that. I am going to give this thing its settings object. So I am going to make a private, private, read-only, what is it called? Roulette settings? _ roulette settings. We are going to set this equal to settings factory dot get roulette settings. What else is going here? Never had been in a programming stream. No, actually, backseating is perfectly welcome. So, yes, as Async Awake says, polite suggestions are always welcome. Yep, welcome, welcome. We all have good ideas. We all notice things. This is kind of like mob programming. So we are going to put in the values there. Okay, I think that will get it. Yeah, in some gaming streams, yeah, backseating's discouraged because the fun is watching the streamer try to figure stuff out. Now, there's some of that fun here as well, because I will bang my head against the wall every once in a while. But we're a team here, so we are trying to get these things together. So let's see how close we are to having this running. I'm assuming I need to wire up something. Yes, I know exactly what I need to wire up. The settings factory needs to be itself, or needs to be an I settings factory, which I will create as an interface. Sounds good. We'll give it this for now. I'm going to give that interface its own file. Now, the reason I broke that out separately is this. I will explain. When I'm testing, and this one's going to be a little high level for some of the beginners in here, but everybody else it's going to make sense for. If I want to test something that accesses this settings now, and I need to be able to set these values. The way that I can do that, before I was going to have to mock out the repository, which means I would have to mock out every call that we made to the repository in here, which I guess would just be that one. But then this has to come back with an object that then translates into those. By mocking the settings factory instead, I can actually just create the roulette settings object I want, whereas this is going to be like create a collection of key value pair items, and that sounds like a pain, which then need to pass through this parsing, and we don't want to deal with that. So we're going to write some tests for this once we actually figure out, we're going to write some tests for this, and then we'll refactor this into what we really want it to be. But this piece, this interface is going to help us when we unit test our other code. Okay, now what I don't remember is whether or not I have an automatic scan in place or not. I do not. Okay, that answers my question. So here's what I'm going to do. I need to go to, we are inside of core, so I should have a core module right here, and I am going to say settings factory as implemented interfaces. Done. That should be all I need to do there. Now when I run this, it still bombs because I didn't wire it up right. Let me take a look at what I did. I'm sure it's something easy. An error occurred. I'm going to see an error exception. Function settings factory. See the error exception activator. Cannot resolve parameter settings factory of constructor void constructor by repository settings. Oh, whoops. Yep. Nope. I didn't finish it. I added the interface, but I didn't use it. See, right here. That should be the interface. That's why it failed. All right, got it. Problem solved. So, whoa, hang on. Now, I'm wondering if I'm hitting a life cycle problem here, because this came in a little later, actually. Sequence contains more than one element. Oh, I know what happened. It was initializing this, and it attempted to get a setting, I think. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to debug this. We're going to find out where that exception's thrown. So we get in here, we go to create this object, and then I said get a single one of these. Sequence contains no matching elements. I meant to say single or default. That is why this failed. And that is my own fault. So there we go. And I need to shorten our names and everything now. I want it to be a little, like, this whole thing, as I said, it's ugly. We're going to get rid of it, but we need to make it work one time just to get the code running. Once we get the code running, what I am going to do is I am going to see if there are any structural changes we want to make. And then if there are, because we're starting with existing code, we'll make a couple of those structural changes, make sure things are still working. And then assuming that they are, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and write some unit tests around this and make it work a little bit better. Blub just died playing. Nice job, Blub. Nice job. I don't think that worked. I'm not sure what it's going to do with me. Can I time myself out? Well, hang on. Let me try this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see? Gets all of us. Sadly, it can't time out mods. Once the tests are passing, we can refactor exactly as Alvixidian. That's the idea. Okay. So here's what we did. We moved the roulette command into there, and then we moved the settings into a settings object that we currently don't actually pull from the database because we don't create it in the database. So I'm going to change how we create this. So here's what we're going to do. That's not the command name anymore. Now we're going to do name of, and it's roulette settings. So we're going to check roulette settings, and we're going to say if there is not a I need an object. I need an object. Because that's the only way I can get access to the property name easily, right? Deleted denizen. Also time. Someone is going to win at roulette. Someone. Alright. Instance equals new roulette settings. Now here's the nice thing. This is the default instance. So the default instance comes with the default value. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if there isn't one that has name of, and we're going to say this first one, what is it, win percentage? Okay. Then we are going to create this. So we're using name ofs so that we know all those strings are the same, and then the value is going to come from the default instance. Win percentage chance dot toString. Okay. There we go. So now we're going to do a name of default instance dot timeout duration in seconds. We're going to replace this one as well. And this one is default instance dot timeout in seconds toString. And then that is this, which actually I'm just going to go down the line and get all of those. And now the value is going to be protect subscribers, and this one is coins reward. So now we need to get those ones changed, and this is a protect subscribers, paste coins reward. And I'm doing things a little bit nicer now. This is taking me way less time now that I'm doing this. So this is protect subscribers, and this is coins reward. Now I'm going to check in chat and see if anybody said I did something stupid. Let's see. Everybody's dying in chat. Wait, roulette. G's spelling roulette. Async wake pulls the trigger, fires. Okay, so everybody's dying. Well, yeah. Wheel spin, thank you. I know. So today I did this. And I just, moved my hair and it went differently. Yeah, the 20% chance is probably a little low. Oh, sorry, Blue Spied. Yeah, see, everybody's dying in chat. Alright, so that creates that set of settings. And you'll notice these are all super consistent. So I have a feeling we can pull that out. There's a lot of repeat code here that I think is going to come out nicely. I think it's going to be great. Yeah, Zelvixidian, I'm expecting all of this stuff to come out. There's so much consistency in here that I think almost everything we've got is going to come out pretty nicely for now. So, changing how we store the settings. So I'm going to do that as a commit for now. So we're now doing it based on this. We called it command name, but this is going to be settings name. So we're going to say by settings name, because I think that makes more sense. And then the other thing that we want to do, so this is going to be settings name, and then I don't think we're using this right now. So even though I think we'll need this eventually, I'm going to drop it for now because I want to get rid of the code that's using it. So here's what we do. We're in base command now. So this pulled the value, checked it. Yeah, I like the code, but I like the way we just switched it to slightly better. So I did a parse on those, but a convert, you know, change type, blah, 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 all those kinds of things, they work pretty much the same way. And I actually like the fact that yours is typed. Mine's not right now. But I will make it that way. And then get setting can go away as well. So that code that we've got, it is going to move in here. So you have it in the right place. This is where that code goes in the long run. Time command last invoked is underscore. Okay, I won't worry about that for now. Alright, let's see what we changed. We deleted that. We renamed that. Okay, so base command, remove settings access from base command, and I'm going to ignore the fact that I used capital letters for I don't know why. And this is renaming that. Renaming the policy helper methods. Again, I'm not too sure about my casing there, but it doesn't matter. Yours is strongly typed. Yeah, sort of, Zelvixidian. I do have strongly typed stuff. What I meant was, I have hard-coded strong typing. Let me show you what I mean. Inside my settings factory, all I'm doing is a bool parse and an int parse. I don't have like a generic, you know, typed thing where I'm saying, yeah, whatever object was in there, you know, we're gonna serialize it out or anything like that. We're not doing anything we're not doing anything flexible on it yet. This is a very simple approach. Yes, it's a stringly type. Oh, Zelvixidian. Yeah, stringly typed. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. Oh, man. Well, I probably don't have any viewers left after that. It was good while it lasted. Thanks, Zelvixodian. Let's see. We got that working. Doing this, we call through to get this. I want to change this so it's get by type. So instead of name of here, I want to do based on the type name. So here's what we're going to do. So this currently works. Well, yeah, okay, so I want to adjust this. Since I want to change the signature so much, I don't yet want to, so we're going to do that. Okay, so in order to do this, I have to say, whoops, where t class new. Okay, so now I can get away with what I just did here. Lineball, welcome. Thanks for following. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream. Everyone died. You guys aren't actually timed out, I assume. You should have been untimed out already. A is not in the word. It's E in the word. Is U in the word. Uh-oh. There you go, congratulations. We know the word. Okay, so these types no longer work because we don't know that one. So what we have to do is this. So this one is where it is this type. So what I'm going to do is, instead of saying it's a class, I'm going to say it's one of these so that we can get away with this for now. So we're slightly cheating for now. This needs to disappear. To do change to class once tests are in place. So you'll notice that once I did that, the compiler error completely disappeared. That's a little magic trick I did here. So when it's a class, it doesn't know what those are. But when I tell it that we want to do generic and our t value, so essentially what I'm doing here, for anybody that doesn't know generics in C#, we're basically saying that we want to make this method work for any type, so it can return any type you request, but the restrictions on those types are that it has to be a roulette settings and it has to have a constructor, a default constructor is basically what this means. You have to be able to call new on it. Folkart Live, welcome, thanks for following. Howdy, welcome, welcome. And I apologize to anybody if I butcher your name, but if I do, just tell me, and I will attempt to say it better later, as I still attempt to do every time with Zalvixodian. And I'm going to get it right one of these days. Okay, so we changed it to that. Now we want to get some tests on this. Wait, why is this red? Oh, because I changed the type and I didn't change the that. So I'm gonna hop over here. We're gonna do one of these. I'm gonna get rid of these. Put that back. Get rid of the word public. And now everything should be happy again. Happy. Wait, games? Oh, because now it wants to call this with roulette settings. There we go. Horbden, welcome. Thanks for following. And I apologize to both of you for butchering your names. But welcome. I hope that means you're enjoying the stream. So now we should be out of red squigglies, and everything should build just fine, except for the fact that it can't actually copy those files over because the bot is running. Oh, it's fine. I take it that means I got kind of close. That's fantastic news. Alright, so the bot's back and it didn't blow up, so that's good. Okay, now let's get some unit tests on here. So we're going to go ahead and open up our fancy pants unit testing tool here. I'm going to go in here, and where did I put the settings factory? It is in core data settings factory core. It's right, everything in here is a model, so I didn't test any of those. So, okay, so folder settings factory tests. And what we're going to say is class get settings should. There we go. First off, you'll notice I said get settings should, and the reason I said that is because before I continue on any further, I need to fix that. So don't commit that one. Make get settings generic. Now I'm going to rename it because it's not get roulette settings anymore, or it's not going to be. It's going to be get settings. And for anyone that didn't guess, I will be changing it so that the factory will also do the creation of our defaults as we do in the wire up in the beginning. That is correct, Nate. I do mess up your name. Goglogogluababidi. I really butchered that one, I think. But welcome, thanks for following. I don't think I stood a chance of getting that one right. Hopefully I wasn't horribly far off. I think I at least got the right letters. Yeah, that was good. Okay, so we're gonna go into here. We need to go into the get settings should. Did I rename that? I did. So get settings should, and we're gonna say public void return something given something. And I'll figure out what that is in a second. I always like to start my tests with some kind of basic name, like, whoops, fact. We're in X unit. I like to start my tests with some kind of a simple thing like that. Give me the nice structure, but I don't really know necessarily what is going to go in there right away, because I want to think about it. So I'm going to say new settings factory. I'm going to create a new one of these. Settings factory. Settings factory dot get settings, and the type is going to be roulette settings. And we're gonna say roulette settings dot should not be null. Now I'm gonna say roulette settings dot text subscribers dot should be true. I'm gonna say should be true. Actually, I'm gonna say be false in this case. And the reason I'm gonna say false is that I happen to know that true is the default value. So this is a better test. Wait, what's our word here? I don't know what this word is, guys. I don't know. The Hangman game that's going on there? I don't know what that word is. Okay, so we need to build a new... I don't want an EF generic repository, so notice that the tooling here got really smart and suggested this, but that's not what I want. I want a mock I repository. It was suggesting to me the real class, which I don't want here. So we're going to say .object. We're going to save this mock right above it. So mock.object, we're going to pass it in there, and then what we need to do is, before we call get settings, we need to tell it, hey, before you do that, we're going to set up for the repository to have its list method called, and when the list method's called, we're going to do something. And it is going to get passed with, it is any command settings policy. Yeah, command settings policy. So we're telling it it's going to get a command settings policy. And when it does, we want it to return a new, what? We call list, it's going to pass back a new list of command settings entity. Okay, so essentially what this does, if this is weird for anybody that's watching, this is kind of like a fake object here that is going to allow us to, at runtime, control the results. This we use to avoid going to the database. We pass it into our factory so it doesn't talk to the database, and then what we do is we're going to have it, instead of calling to the database when this command is called, we're going to give this set of values as if it came back from the database. So that sort of lets us slip our way in there and get the real values that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in one value in here that we actually do want. that we do care about. And that value is going to be our protect subscribers. That one. So, here's what we're going to do. New command settings entity. And we're going to say key equals name of that. Oh, that would get long. I'm going to do that for now. Don't kill me, anybody. Please don't kill me. I didn't do anything wrong. Setting. Alright, so we're going to do that, and I'll fix that in a second. I just don't want to do it right now, so we're going to say false. False. And I'm going to not have those be strings in a moment, so just give me a minute, and I'll fix it. Oh, it was pizza! Oh, good job, Blub. Yeah, see, how did I not figure that out? You guys all figured out my word. I didn't. Okay, so that returns that. Okay, I think this test might work. We're going to find out. Maybe I skipped something. We'll see. Perfect. There we go. Got it. Okay. So now I kind of want to nice this test up a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I want a full set of settings. So I pulled this out as its own object, but I kind of don't want to do this anymore. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to new line this, and so protect subscribers. What are the values? Coins reward. Timeout. And win percent chance. So those are all red because it's not Boolean. Alright, so coins reward should be we'll say 23, and then should be timeout duration in seconds is going to be what, 34, and this will be 45. Our win percent. It's a generous win percentage we've got there, so we're going to make this 23. Whoops, 23, 34, 45. And then we're going to set that to coins reward, timeout duration, and win percentage chance. There we go. Not bad. Let's see. Why do the test class names all end in should? If they all have that, why not leave it out? Or are there other test classes not ending in should? Async awake. So the reason I end them in should is just so you can read them. And you're right. They all would have that. And segfault, yeah, exactly what segfaulter said there. It makes it so that we read it nicely. So we say get setting should return something given something. Yep, see, it makes it nice. I am using fluent assertions. So it's yeah, see, it's literally called fluent assertions. Yes, exactly. So it makes it nice. The name is exactly what you think it would be. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this now. So it looks like that should probably work. Okay, so that means that it can pull these out of the database and it's going to work fine. what we want to do is, I want to nice that test up a little bit, but I really care less about the test right now than I do about the code it's testing. Oops, I forgot to commit that. Rename get roulette settings to get settings. Now we have our test class, and this one is add a simple test to get settings. Now this is enough that I feel kind of comfortable. That's basically the logic that we have. Oh yeah, yeah. There are a bunch of libraries that do this type of work. So what they're talking about, for anyone that doesn't know, yeah. So there are libraries that do like should be, other things like that, and other people will write it like this. So assert equal and then like 20 and then 10 and then say like my variable, right? And so they write it like that. Both work equally well. It really comes down to preference, whatever you like to read. That's just the way I write it. You don't have to write it that way if you don't want to. That's the way of all things in development. There's 100 ways to do everything you want to do. And they all come with benefits and drawbacks, and a lot of it just comes down to preference. So now that we've got that working, I want to change how our factory works. So I said that we're going to change this to class once we get this, once we actually get tests around it. So I would say right now that we have a test around this. Yeah, Async Awake, if you're going to work in this project, then, which, by the way, for anyone who is new in here, all the code that we do on stream is out on GitHub, and you are able to contribute. So if you do contribute to the project, try to use the libraries and tools that we use here, the conventions and things like that. But other than that, you are welcome to make suggestions for other tools and things we should use. And if we do end up switching to them, then awesome. If not, then we hope you are okay with using whatever standard we're already using is. Okay, so here is the challenge I'm going to run into as soon as I change that name to class instead of roulette settings. All of a sudden, these don't compile because it doesn't know where they came from. So, now is when I make this actually generic. So, that is a new T. So, I need to go up to this, and I need to change that to be a class as well. Okay. So now that's no longer yelling at me. Now, I just need to pull these out using reflection. I think reflection is the way we're going to have to do this. But essentially what it means is whatever class we send in here, haven't tuned in since Microsoft announced they were acquiring GitHub. My reaction is excitement. I am looking forward to it, and Microsoft did mention that they are not planning on really getting in GitHub's way. So, in fact, a lot of the development projects that GitHub is doing, where they are building the same kind of stuff that Microsoft does, they have explicitly stated that GitHub is still going to be developing the stuff that they do, even where they compete with Microsoft. So, I think a lot of this is going to be positive. I think we're going to get some better integrations. I think anybody that's using Visual Studio's stuff, and welcome, Israelo. Thanks for following. So I'm hoping they might make 5 private repos free like Bitbucket does. Yes, Async Awake. I think that's going to happen too. I do expect that they are going to change some of that, some of the pricing stuff, because Microsoft is going to want to make money off of GitHub, but they're not going to need to make money at such a small level, and I think they're going to want to have more people on their platform. So I think because of the way Microsoft is structured, they're going to be able to get away with some of that. So here's what we're going to do. So instead of a name of roulette settings, we are going to say... Well, first off, I need to rename this. That's going to be settings now. Whoops. No, it won't be. This is going to be settings object for now, and then this is going to be what are these? It's going to be a list of command settings entity. Okay. Settings entities. So now this can be settings. Okay, so these are the entities. This is the settings object. I think that makes sense. Let's see. For promotion and showing goodwill. Yes, exactly, Async Awake. Microsoft is going to make GitHub better. I don't think that they're going to interfere in how the product works. I think they might change something about the pricing model. I think it's going to be better for the intro. If you'll remember, Visual Studio Community Edition is free. So if you're just a lone developer, you don't have the money to buy Visual Studio, they just let you use it. So it's kind of amazing. So instead of using this object here with a name of, we want to do settings.getType.name. So there is how we're going to get that. And just to make sure we're still good, we're going to hop back over to this. We're going to run this test. So our test should still pass. Oh, whoops. These won't pass yet, unless I switch this back to the other type, which is going to be a roulette settings. So we're going to put that back again for now. And hop back into the settings factory. So I'm just going to keep putting that back in to make it compile and run so that we can run our tests. So we're going to hop over here. We're going to run the tests again, see what happens. Segfaulter, yes. CodeLens. This little what Segfaulter's talking about is this text right above my method here. This is called CodeLens, and that is actually the most valuable feature of non-Community Edition Visual Studio, by far, is that little piece there. It's super useful, so I know that my last commit was 6 minutes ago, for example. I know that I'm the only author that has made any changes to this, and I've only committed to this method one time. I know how many things reference it. Since it's a test, there are no references to it. So there's a lot of little bits of information that they just kind of squeeze in there. Yes, if I were running their test tools, it would show me if the test was broken in here. But I'm using ReSharper's testing, so mine appear over here on the left. Whichever way you like. Again, I run mine here. Other people run it there. And yes, that's the weird thing that was just mentioned. You get CodeLens in Visual Studio Code for free. Visual Studio Code is fantastic, by the way. For anybody that doesn't use it, we have used it a couple of times on stream. 3 times? 3 times on stream. So 3 streams have been Visual Studio Code streams. Oh, and by the way, everybody who uses base 10 here, I figured I'd tell you a cool thing. I know probably only a few of you use base 10. This is our 60th stream, I think, so that's pretty neat. 6-0. Pretty good round number there. Okay, so everything still passes with that change, so we're going to do that, and we're going to go back over to the settings factory, and we're going to do that. Now this is breaking again, which is fine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say settings dot get type, and then what I want to say is get properties I don't think I need anything more specific than that. For each one of those, property info, and we're gonna say property info dot set value. We want to do Set value equal to this. And we want to do it in a special case. So actually, let me put this back for a second. I need my instance, so it is set value on that to that value. Visual Studio has CodeLens APIs on the roadmap. Oh, WTF Glove, that is really cool news. I didn't know they were doing that. Okay, so we want to say property info, whoops, not name of that. We want to say dot name. There we go. So this is entity, settings entity, settings entity. So those are our settings entities. This is the entity that we're applying. And we're going to go ahead and do that. We're doing an int parse right now, so this is clearly going to fail on the Boolean. So I need to figure out how to handle type differences here. Anybody have any good suggestions for how to handle that one? Coming in here, we got our property info. Convert.change type. That is a very good point, Blub. Let's go grab Blub's code here. There we go. We'll see if this works at all. Okay, so what did he do? Yeah, we can import system convert. We need the type. But we don't actually need to be that type here, because we're setting an object. So, get settings. So ours is this. And then this is going to be our property info. And I'll explain what we're doing here in 1 second. It's the type of the property. There we go. I think that will work. Okay, so here's the idea. So with reflection, what we're basically doing here is we're saying go ahead and get all of the properties on our roulette settings type. For each property, we want to go in and we want to pull from our collection of settings we already got the one that's associated with each property and assign those values. So we're going to set the value on this object, and what we're going to set it to is the object itself is stored in the database right now as a string, and we're going to try to convert that back into its object type. So I am going to comment that out and see if our tests still pass. So wish me luck. It may not work yet, but we're going to give it a shot. Holy crap, it works. There we go. We call that success, my friends. Yep. Awesome. I call that a win. Alright, cool. So I can get rid of my to-do now. because I got rid of that type also. So now our settings factory really looks like a settings factory. I'm not big on the name settings factory that I gave it, but it's good enough, I think. Alright, so make settings factory generic. And before I push this change, we're going to do the real final test. Because as you all know, the tests can pass, we can be pretty darn certain that the unit tests are good and checking what they're supposed to be checking. But at the end of the day, we need to actually run the code and make sure that it really works. So, there we go. It's running. Roulette. I'm apparently dead. Roulette. 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 Really? Now maybe there's a bug in Roulette. Seems unlikely that I could die that many times. Blub guy. Oh, nice. Good job, AJ. You created WTF Blub. Hang on, I'm gonna... I want to make sure there's no bug in the roulette command. I didn't actually look at it that carefully. So I'm going to run this just to make sure that we don't all do this. Oh man, that was good. Alright, let's see. It's in here. Let's go ahead and run it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so now we're in here. So we grabbed our random number. The number was 21. Well, someone's about to die because the win percent chance is 20. Hang on. Run that. Alright, so who's next? Alright, Captain Kraft. Let's see what happens to you. Random. Oh, you're gonna die also. Sorry, Captain Kraft. Anybody else try it? Async Awake's gonna try. Here we go, Async Awake. Let's see what's gonna happen to you before it happens. 9. Okay, you should survive. Clicks, you survived. Async Awake. There you go. Congratulations. It is possible to survive. And everybody else that tries dies. Congratulations, Blub. You made an entertaining game. We like it. It's good. Alright, I'm gonna push that up then. It's not perfect yet, but it is definitely getting better. I think we can all see the direction that we're going on it. Every time before you take a shot, Captain Kraft, Oh, man, Captain Kraft, you're correct. Hang on. No, yeah. So the thought is that it's reloaded between each one so that it's always 5, so there are 5 shots, 4 of them are, real, and 1 of them's blank. Empty, we'll say? Empty, that's the word. Because it was set to a 20% chance every time. But you are totally correct. So we should adjust the chance. Alright, let's see. I like it. I like it. That was good. That was good. Let me just make sure this is building up here, because we're going to want this to merge in. So this is going... All checks have passed. What? Didn't I just push up changes? You lying to me? I did push to that, right? PR 198? PR 198, yeah. Commits. There's my commits. Okay, good. It's building. I just wanted to make sure AppFair was actually building that. Alright, so it's going. So while that's going, let's look at that game a little bit more. Someone's saying something in chat. My bot's running, right? Yes, it is. Ah, yes. Captain Crab still trying. Leading Lady. I love it. That's an awesome name. Welcome. Thanks for following. That is really good. Oh, nice. You can push to pull requests from other people. Didn't know that. Yes, Blub. Yeah. And did you see how like automated and fancy that was in here? And you guys wonder why I'm using this tool. Everybody's like, why aren't you using this? And I'm like, well, because this does this. And it was like a button click to be able to push to your pull request. And in order to get on the pull request branch, I literally switch from branches to pull requests, and I can go and I can push up to your pull request that way. Isn't that neat? Isn't that really cool? I think it's really cool. Super powered. Awesome. So, if you're going to run an open source project, that is the way to do it. Okay. So, I was mentioning... so Crimson Green, I want you to type the roulette command. So just exclamation point roulette. Please try that, Crimson Green, now that you're here. Will someone that's not a moderator pull that trigger just so that you can show them what happens? Yeah, someone that's... Yeah, there we go! Yes, exactly. It's good. Yeah, so when you guys saw me type over there, I mentioned it to Crimson Green. He has a similar command on his bot, actually. Although mine comes with a random chance. Yeah. Oh, Horvdan's dead now. Yeah, see? Luckily we revived quickly. Okay, so here's the change I wanted to make. So we were pulling out the settings from the database one at a time based on the actual values. We're going to put them in the database the same way we just did that one. So I want to put them in with their default values. Because we can grab the default instance, the way I created this, I set it up so by default it creates itself with its default values. So what that means is over here we can do the same thing and say for each property on this setting that we're creating, go ahead and do it. So apply the settings. So what we need to do is wrap one of these inside of a loop of some kind. Wait, did the bot crash? Oh, the bot crashed. Why did the bot crash? What did it do? Oh, that bug we've got. You were spared there. Hang on, restarting the bot. Oh man, Blue Spite, that would be amazing. Hang on. I'm gonna survive one of these. Yes! I survived one! See? It doesn't have to be in debug. Yes, but then someone that wasn't me goes ahead and tries it and dies. It's not rigged, I swear. Oh, I swear it's not rigged. That's what I meant to say. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I want to do default instance oh. You know what? Here, I told you all that we were going to put that in the settings factory, and we're going to put, gosh darn it, we're going to put it in the settings factory. So, I'm going to say public void, and we're going to say create default settings if needed for a T. So there we go. So our initial default, we're going to run it with, so we're going to do this one for starters. So we're going to say where T. I promise I know how to type. I've used a keyboard before. Okay, there we go. If name equals DevChatter, then win. WTF Blub, you wrote the code. You wrote that code. That wasn't me. All I did was mess with the settings. That's all I did. Alright, here's what we need to do. We're going to make a new settings of T, and that is going to be one of these right now. We know it's forced to be that. And then what we're going to do is this. Now that we have this object, we know that it has all the values in it. So, what we're going to do is same thing we did there, which is grab all the settings for that type, and then we're going to do this. So that's all the ones that were in the database. Then we're going to come down here and we're going to force set them in the database instead if they need to be. So I am going to steal this code, hop over here. So we're going to say for each property on this, we're going to do that. Command settings entity we will need. That is going to be system link. Why didn't what system link's there? Don't lie to me. Oh, settings entities. Alright, there we go. Is reflection still slow in .NET Core? Blub, I don't know, but what you need to remember about this is that we're going to do this once on the creation of the object. So because this is going to be run one time, when the bot starts up, it would have to be really slow for me to care. Does that make sense, Blub? And if we needed to get around it, if it ends up being slow, there's actually a way that we can do it. So my suggestion to everybody when talking about performance is, first off, write the code the way you want it to work. Get the code working. Once you've got it working, determine whether you need to increase your performance or not. If you do, then obviously improve performance until it's where you need it to be. But don't start worrying too much about performance unless you're writing code where you know it's going to be a problem eventually. And yeah, Blub, I don't know if they changed anything specifically to that. Although some people might know that I have been planning on doing a stream since we had Max on the stream on Tuesday, and I talked with him further about some things. My plan is to do a performance stream at some point. I want to talk about span and some of the other improvements that have been made in recent versions of C# and .NET Core that can make things work a little bit better. So we will be looking at that just because it's fun. Okay, so so instead of default instance, we called it settings, and then our repository is _repository. So here's what we did. So this did win %chance, but we don't want that to do win %chance, so I'm changing this back to class. So we don't know what that type is. So instead of a name of on that, we're going to need to do property info. We're going to do this. Property info.name instead of this name of that. So we want to see, essentially we're saying if there are no entries in our database for this property, then we want to create one. And we don't want to do that. We want to do settings get type name, like so. And then the property name is going to be right here. And then the last thing down here is this value. And the value we want to create is the one off of our settings object. So the way that we get that, because we're doing this on reflection, we don't know the property we need. So we actually want to grab the property info object, and we want to say get value. We want to get value, and we want to get it from our settings object. Now this is a string, so I'm going to have to toString this. And there we go. So now I shouldn't need that anymore. So essentially what we're saying here is, so we're going to say create default setting if needed. So we're going to grab all the settings related to our whatever our type is, whatever one we requested, and then we're going to create based on all the properties of it. So super nice. Zelvixodian, yes. Remind me, performance stream. Yes, we need to do that one at some point. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Reflection is such a nice feature. Blub, I agree completely. And that's actually why I really hope they did make some performance improvements to reflection, because that's one of the challenges with it, is that it can slow down a little bit, but oh man, is it nice. It is so nice. Because it lets us do stuff like this. So at runtime, whatever object is in there, we're actually just going to grab the property off of it and look to see, do we have an entry for that? If we do, add it. So I think that will be nice. So now all we have to do is, instead of doing this, I want to say new settings factory. I won't worry about it for now. We're just going to say new settings factory, which I know I should be doing this from the service locator. Well, I should be using our IOC container to do this. But for now, I'm just going to do it like this. Look at that. There we go. Code out of there. Very nice. Now I want to rename this because I don't like that name anymore, because it's no longer about roulette settings. So create default settings if needed. There we go. What's this do when I hold it up? Does it do anything weird? No, okay. I wasn't sure whether it would distort any of the green background behind me, because obviously you guys know there's green behind me. Although, I mean, there's not. There's Visual Studio. I'm standing in front of a large TV screen. There's a big LCD panel up there. You guys all said, yes, I'm sorry, Async Awake gets water today. Which is weird. I know. You're like, who is the streamer? He's drinking water instead of Pepsi. And his hair looks weird. What's going on? Alright, okay, so I want to verify that that actually works. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go into the database, open this up. Tables. Where are those? Command settings. View data. Let's see what ended up in here. Should be two sets, the old set and the new set. The old one was Command Roulette. The new ones are these settings down here. So I'm going to delete all those. Now we're going to do this. We're going to restart the bot. Okay. Rerun the bot. Being healthy today. Yeah, isn't this terrible? Water poisoning. Yeah, exactly. Water poisoning. You got it. Alright, so that should have set my defaults. There they are. Cool. And just to confirm that it works if an individual default setting is missing, we're going to remove the protect subscribers and do the same thing again. So let's restart the bot again. So that individual value should get in there and nothing else should cause any problems. So we ran it again, and that new value's in there, so perfect. Yep, and it still tries to kill me. So luckily I am immune to the bot's powers. He cannot harm me. I'm going to toss the links into chat because I always like tossing the links in chat. If anyone's in here and hasn't joined our Discord or looked at our code on GitHub, there are 2 links in there for you to check out. Oh, Blub, you got killed again. I'm sorry, Blub. Okay, so this was moving the settings creation into default settings creation into factory. Alright, that will send it up there. And that's going to be the commit that I am going to call that branch done and ready to get merged in. So we will add in your roulette command there, Blub, now that our settings stuff is worked out. And the cool thing is that gave us a chance to get us a set of settings. So now a task that I am going to add into our system, into our issues, and this is one that some people might be interested in. Move cooldowns and move command. Let's see, move command. We have command settings on many of our objects. We should move their settings into the database instead of being in code. We're going to say things like cooldowns, help text, coin rewards, coin costs, so I want to put a label on this. We're going to call this a code improvement. That's a pretty good first issue, actually. It seemed like it's not too difficult to just jump around command objects and do that. And I'm going to throw the help wanted. It says extra attention is needed, but really on the help wanted, I more use that as like, hey, I'm tossing that one out there as that I want someone that's not me to do that. So if that's one, like, because I can easily just do that on stream. I could do it off stream too, but I think that's something if someone wants to contribute is a pretty easy one to tackle. So I'm going to toss that tag on there. So wheel spin command and overlay. I didn't label this. This is a feature enhancement that I think would be fun. Okay, so that looks good. This is going to be running. As soon as that's done, we're going to merge that one in. And then what we are going to do is this. We're going to jump over here. Let's take a look at our issue list one more time. The tic-tac-toe idea was a good one. What else do we need to tackle, though? Alias command with the parameters. Ooh, I really want to do that one. Hype command on stream. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Let's take a look in our web project. Because we were working on this before. We have some changes we want to make to our web project first. So for anyone who hasn't seen it, this is what we've got in our web project right now. Right now we use it as sort of a management tool is basically all it is right now. It's mostly just a hard-coded skeleton that we need to implement a lot of the pieces of. But the idea is that we just wanted to set this up and think about what we wanted to build here, and we want to do some more with it. But for now, what we've got is it has a couple of things, like we show the schedule on here, so you can edit the schedule that we set up using this, so that's one thing that's in here. We also have a couple of things with managing commands. So we do have some values. So these things like command cooldowns and such like that are probably going to be those settings objects that we were just talking about. So we are going to want to have like settings management in here. I think this would be a nice place to include that. So that's one of the reasons to have those as values in the database, is it gives us a place to edit these. And I'm guessing that we're going to have a screen for each one of those, and we're going to load the screen in with those values and essentially be able to edit what we were just looking at. And so that's how you're going to be able to modify those values. We'll probably have one for each of the commands and games. And then the other thing that we need to have in here is an overlay. So I want to take a look at the overlay and see if we can't get that in here. But before I do that, since this did finish building, I want to take a quick look at this. Oh, and actually I'm going to be nice. I feel like being nice to all of you, so I'm going to do this. Look at how nice I am. There's now a 25% chance of not dying. So congratulations. That's a 4-bullet gun for our Russian roulette game now. Because I am super friendly. Okay, so let's go over here, and I want to talk to you about our overlay. Did I click that button? No, I didn't. Let me finish reviewing this, and then we'll go switch to the overlay. So that's our settings factory. We just created that. Settings policy. We shrunk that down to just be that one. We did that, we did that, we did that. Roulette settings is an object now. Those didn't change at all. Oh, we said command full name. I should fix that, shouldn't I? Okay. I'm gonna adjust that. We're gonna change the name of that variable if we can, the name of that column. Because it's gonna be settings settings name. That's what it's gonna be. Type name or something like that. That's a good question. So, command settings entity? No. What? No. That one. Alright, so this is not command full name anymore. This is going to be something else. This is going to be settings type name. So that wants to change its use in the string literals, but I'm not sure I want to do that because I'm afraid of not doing a migration here. So I am going to have it do a migration. So I'm going to say add migration, and we're going to call this rename settings type name, rename column to settings type name. I think that's all I need to do to get that to work. We'll see what happens. Oh, we're playing rock, paper, scissors in chat, everybody. Go ahead and say RPS and pick your favorite rock, paper, scissors object. Maybe you'll win. Good luck. Alright, I think this is running. But I just realized this is why it's not working. There we go. It couldn't copy the object. That's why it wasn't going. So it failed to build because it couldn't copy the files, but now it's going to work, I think. Oh, whoops. I'm in the wrong place. We want to be we want to be -project devchatter.bot.infra.ef. So we have our code is actually in a different place, so I have to move it to a different spot. And now you'll notice all it does is it does a rename column, and I think that that is an operation that is safe enough for it to allow it to do it. Yeah, I had to kill the bot, Asia Ukraine, because the the bot is actually, because we're running out of Visual Studio, it's holding on to the DLL files, and so a build can't complete. So, sorry about that, everybody. Had to remove the bot before rock, paper, scissors completed. Alright, so it's running again. Feel free to hop back in the new game. Async Awake and Zalv Exodian. Let's see, so we have that going there. So it should have renamed that column. I'm going to check and see if it did or not. View data. Settings type name. Woo! Alright, the rename worked. Fantastic. Okay. So let's push this up. Command settings entity, command settings name, settings name, settings name, and 70 migration. So rename to settings type name. Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, we are now ready for that to merge. We're going to let AppVeyor build this, make sure everything still runs correctly. As long as AppVeyor comes back and says this was a success, we're going to go ahead and push this one out here. Whoa! Hey, Crimson Green, you survived! Congratulations! Very few people have survived the roulette game so far. So, congrats. I do believe it gave you coins even if it didn't mention doing it. Does Twitch support historical comments in bot API? AG Ukraine, I'm not sure what you're wondering about. Am I already in this? Whoops. Oh, I changed from rock to rock. LS Fando? Welcome, thanks for following. Sushinator, no, all I did was this morning, I just literally did this with my hand, and then this happens. So, no actual haircut change there, just a small thing. Yeah, see? Regulars all chiming in, commenting about the hair. Okay, so here's your, AG Ukraine, you are wondering if the is it possible to fetch the comments for the last 5 minutes? Oh! AJ Ukraine, I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I want to. Very nice, Crimson Green. I'm glad you survived. Thank you for the 48 biddies. Much appreciated. Yeah, so AJ Ukraine, I believe it is probably possible, but I don't know how to grab that data, but I would love to do it. So I will try to figure it out at some point, because I also want to figure it out. So what I am going to do is this. I am going to make a Razor page here, and I'm going to make this my initial overlay. Initial overlay. This is not going to live forever. I don't want it to use a layout page, and the reason I don't is that I don't want to have all of our regular navigation pieces, our top menu up at the top. I don't want to have our footer. I don't want to have any of that junk, so I don't want to use a layout. But what I do want to do is I'm going to need to get NPM on here and get it set up with the signalar for JavaScript. So, because what we're going to do is we're going to eventually move the bot into the web project. Once we do that, it's going to get weird. Because we're going to have, because the web project will actually become our bot. So the web project will run everything. So once we get to that point, it's going to be nice. Did this finish? Refresh, it's out of date. Go back over here. Did we get our green mark? I'm going to approve the changes because I requested them and now I have completed them. All of our tests are passing. Everything's good. Let's... the few, the proud. Let's see. Add... Twitch IRC used to send a chat history on channel join, but I haven't seen them since they reworked the website with React. Yeah, WTF Blub, you're talking about like the chat when you were on there. So I believe you still can connect to it with IRC, which means you should be able to get the channel history connecting in like that, so it should be possible. Yeah, so since Chatty can do that kind of thing, I think the bot can do it also, async awake. So, okay, so that's merged in. The master branch now has those changes. So, we're going to go ahead and pull this. Yeah, so async awake, because of the fact that, so I need to look and see how TwitchLib is connecting, because I don't think it's using the IRC client. And if we adjust it to use the IRC client, then I think that we might be able to get us that chat history, which could be useful. ProMetal320, hello. Okay, initial overlay. So our initial overlay is right here, and there's nothing on it that's really all that interesting. I want to add an image into here. And the image I'm going to add is the DevChatter image. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, there's a convenient website that I'm going to tell you about. It's called twitchemotes.com. And it actually grabs everybody's Twitch emotes. So you can see these are our Twitch emotes, for example. So things like ProMetal. C# is a programming language that is, I will say, versatile. It is very good for application development and can do a lot of other things as well. So C# as a language is very good. .NET Core is a lightweight and fast framework that C# can be, that is C# is one of the .NET Core languages. So it's very nice. Okay, so I want to steal this image, so I am going to steal it. And the place I am going to put it is, that's not where I want to put it. Hang on. Why does it call it 3.0 and make it a .o file? That doesn't make any sense. C# is 2020 vision for the future. Yes. Yeah, general purpose rapid development language. Yes, that is a very good description of it. What is this? This is DevChatter.pong. DevChatter.pong. Alright, we're going to grab that, and then I am going to open up this images folder here. Alright, so now we have DevChatter in here. So I just tossed this in here. So now in theory we can use our DevChatter image on here. So img... Are there any ESP things for this? No, append version, that's all. src equals... Why did I get a space there? I don't think I typed it. Images, hype. And don't you love the autocomplete? Did you see that? Like, isn't that awesome? I'm a big fan of that. It's like, oh, yeah, you want to use this? Boom. Yeah, that's an image. I know what that is. I'm just, like, auto-completing out your thing there. I'm like, holy crap, thank you. Alright, so now when we look at this page... I always like it when the tooling's just there and is like, oh yeah, this is probably the thing you want. Let me just hook it up for you. It's amazing. Amazeballs. We like it. I hit enter. Please let me hit enter on here. Initial overlay. There it is. Its name is initial overlay, and it shows our hype emote. So that's kind of cool. So if we want to show that on the stream, I need to go over to my editor, and I need to say add a new source, and we're going to call this a browser source. And then this is going to be the browser source, add a source. We're going to call this DevChatter bot initial overlay. There's the URL for it. How big is this image? Is it going to tell me? Yep, right there. 112 apparently. So we're going to do that, and well, I really thought we were going to see that up there. Oh, whoops, local file. Wait, local file? No. HTTPS local file. Oh, what's the non-HTTPS version, maybe? Does it maybe not like the fact that it's, You guys should see that, so that's the problem. That's the problem. Oh, you saw it for a second. Up in the top left, you actually saw it? There it goes. Cool. I don't know what happened. I just literally opened it and closed it again. So now I can put this hype anywhere I want on screen. So there you go. Hype. Put him right next to me there. My little buddy. There we go. Ah, it's perfect. There we go. I got a little hype guy next to me. So, which I could have just loaded an image, but it's cool that that's coming out of our website. So what I want to do now is make it so that guy slides into view, like he rises up into view when we type a hype command. So he goes up and down, you know, so like you type hype and he comes up next to me holding his hype sign is the little plan. So that's what I'd like to have happen. If that makes sense. So generations. Adding hype image. This is going to be. Yeah, exactly. I want to have him like rise up next to me. Yeah, the hype command doesn't exist yet. Let's see. Core commands. I think it has to be part of that. We're not going to be able to get this working that way just yet. So, that piece is there. Okay, so the next big thing, I need to move the bot into the web project. Yeah, next big step, bot has to move into the web project. And I know that's not going to happen today. So, because I don't want to start that one at the end of the stream, so I'm going to remind everybody really quickly that if you want to contribute to our project or see any of the code that we did today or any day on the stream, you can find all the code we do here on the stream is pushed out to GitHub at github.com/devchatter. And if you want to talk with us, ask us questions, work with any of the other DevChatter fans that are here, go ahead and join our Discord. I linked that in the chat as well. For those of you that don't know, Discord is a chat application that's commonly used by gamers and Twitch streamers, and that is the place where you can chat with me or any of the other DevChatter people. So if you're interested in chatting with us about C#, .NET, ASP.NET, .NET Core, ASP.NET Core, anything related to any of that, Azure, whatever, or if you're a Java dev, JavaScript dev, whatever language you're interested, whatever programming you're interested, check it out. We're nice people. We're friendly. We won't make fun of you for asking any silly questions. There are no silly questions, as you can see from on the stream. We all make mistakes. Doesn't matter how good you are. Every one of us forgets things. We don't know all the same things, and we're all trying our best. So chat with everybody, and we will hopefully get better together. Because my goal is always writing better programs and better code than I did previously, and always making everything I do better than it was before I got there. And I hope all of you have pretty much the same opinion. The couple of things I do want to mention for anybody who is new here. As I said, this is DevChatter, and if you want to chat with us, we are here 4 times a week on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Obviously today is our Saturday one. We started at 1 p.m. my time. Our streams are usually about 2 hours-ish. We have been going for a little bit longer than that right now. So we have been up for 2 hours, 15 minutes. We've had the occasional stream where we go for like 3, 4, 5 hours. Those are the exception, not the rule though. And a couple of other things I want to mention. Coming up on our next stream, the Monday stream, that's 2 days from now. We're going to have another pair programming stream, so do join us on Monday. It'll be a fun one. We're going to write some code together. Jay is another ASP.NET Core, C# Microsoft MVP type guy. So he's another person that can answer a lot of questions that you might have about that sort of thing. So if you are wondering about anything ASP.NET Core, .NET Core, C# related, there will be 2 of us crazy people that love that stuff on the stream. He's going to be up in that corner up there. I'm going to be down here in this corner here. And we're going to write code together using VS Live Share, which is actually what this button is here on my Visual Studio. It's kind of small up here. But that lets me essentially invite someone into my Visual Studio and we can program together, each of us with our own cursor and writing code at the same time. It's really fun. If you haven't seen it, you will want to check it out. So we're going to be doing that on Monday. So I guess in 48 hours, we will still be live and programming on Monday. Other things to mention, if you do want to see what time the stream is in your time, make sure you go and type in the schedule command and type what your offset is from UTC. So programmers tend to know this sort of thing. So I'm at UTC -4 right now in Eastern Time in the US. We're Eastern Daylight Time right now during Daylight Savings. And in chat you'll see our schedule listed there. Or if you don't want to use our bots chat command, the other place that you can find our schedule is if you look down below when you are on... Very nice, Async Awake. I think we caught your check there. If you don't want to use our command, you can also scroll on down here, and you can see our Now Live panel right here. This will convert to whatever your time zone is. AJ Ukraine, yes, a planned improvement is to either specify a time zone or a city. So if you are wondering about that, that is one of our issues over on our DevChatter bot. Time zone by abbreviation on the schedule command is right here, and Nuffly is working on that, and so we're going to do that. We would like to do city, but the plan is to try and say time zone abbreviation, and what we want to do is make it so that if you mess up, we fix it for you. So if you said like schedule and you said Eastern Standard Time, for example, but you meant to say schedule EDT because it's Daylight Savings Time. Whoops, I typed schedule twice. That was weird. Anyway, I think you get the idea. We want to fix that for you. Yeah, so AJ Ukraine, if you want to try and make it so that we can look up by city and grab and pull that as well, I would gladly have by city also, because if you can specify a city that we can look up and do the schedule command that way, that would also work. I would love to support any of them so we can mention the schedule. I think that's a fantastic command that a lot of people would make use of. Okay, so mention that. So, yeah. Other than that one, I am still talking with more people that we want to get on the stream. If you have any suggestions for who we should get on the stream with us, there is a great place to mention that. So I have, in the all guest section, I say, hey, have someone, tell me who you want to have. So if there is a guest that you think we should have on stream, let me know. Great place to do that. Create an issue, for example, asking, for a certain person to be on the stream, and I will reach out to them. If it's someone that you know, then cool, we can make an introduction that way. If you don't, I am willing to reach out to a random person on the internet and say, hey, these people said you were a good person to have on the stream, and I'll try to get them on the stream. Other than that one, oh, there's one other thing I need to check. I just realized I gotta look at it because we're getting close. Hang on. Oh, so close! The thing that sparked my mention. So, when we get to 1,024 followers here on the stream, I am going to start planning our first special event. So you'll notice that I reserved a little issue spot here, but I haven't done any of the planning yet. But once we hit 1,024 followers, we're at 1,021. So once we hit 1,024, I will figure out what we want to do as a special event, and start working on getting that set up. So I think it will be fun, and hopefully you all enjoy that. Yes, Crimson Green, 1024, we use base 2 here, not your base 10. What do you think we are, non-programmers? Don't give me that. and the funny thing is, I mentioned that, and then 2 people follow immediately. Blue Spide and Segfalter just followed, so thanks to both of you. Number 1022 and 1023. So literally the next person that follows would end up hitting that number, wouldn't they? Oh, nope, actually that's it. Boom, there it is, done. Congratulations to Segfalter. Segfalter wins, I think. Pretty sure. Unless that, I don't know, might need to refresh. We'll have to look. You might be the winner. There we go. I need to refresh that. Oh, actually, nope, it's not. Sorry, I lied. It's this one. So, congratulations. That looks like it's the most recent one. There it is. Yes. Hey, there you are, yeah. Rakia? Rakia? I'm guessing Rakia, but maybe I'm wrong. Hi, welcome. Congratulations on being follower number 1024. I'm sorry, Segfalter. Here, hang on, Segfalter. I have a prize for you that's almost as good. Have 50 coins, Segfalter. Congratulations. Alright. And on that note, that is awesome. That is a great way to end the stream, so thank you all. That is really cool. 1,024 followers. That's really impressive. I am super happy about that. So thank you all for being here, hanging out, following, supporting, getting involved in the chat. I hope I will see you all again on Monday. We're going to have a great stream on Monday. I want to thank C# Fritz for the auto host for us today, and Crimson Green for the biddies. And congratulations on surviving the game of Roulette. I also want to thank WTF Blub for contributing the Roulette game to our project. I thought that was not only a fantastic idea, but also a nice implementation. So, well done, congrats. That got merged in today. And I also want to thank everyone else for testing it out and helping us out and having fun with us. So, have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you all on Monday.